Karibu tena mtazamaji kwenye awamu ya pili ya taarifa za yanayojiri. Kwa hivi sasa tunaenda moja kwa moja kuwasikiliza maafisa wa shirika la wachapishaji vitabu nchini ambao wanatoa taarifa kuhusu hali ya upatikanaji wa vitabu vya mtaala wa CBC na haswa gredi ya 9. Kumekuwa na malalamishi kutoka kwa baadhi ya wazazi baada ya kucheleweshwa kuchapishwa rasmi kwa vitabu vya kianda vilivyoidhinishwa kwa gredi ya 9, na kwa hivi sasa tuwasikilize.
Next week on Monday, we can confidently say that all public schools will have CBC textbooks for grade 9. They are quite a number. They cover various learning areas, and we shall mention those learning areas: pre-technical studies, agriculture, English, mathematics, CRE, integrated science, Kiswahili, creative arts, IRE, and social studies. The books are being distributed by more than 10 different publishers, among them Spotlight Publishers, Mountain Top Publishers, Booklist, Hummingbird, East African Educational Publishers, Kenya Literature Bureau, and others. Now, apart from public schools, there are private institutions. These private institutions do not benefit from the free books from government. Only public institutions do. So, for these public schools, they are supposed to buy these books from bookshops. And again, as a council of the Kenya Publishers Association, we can confirm that these grade 9 textbooks are available in bookshops. You can see on display, we have a variety of these books. This is just a small illustration of the textbooks that have been published for grade 9. If you go to bookshops, you will find them there. So if one is a parent in a private school, a teacher, learner, or even you as members of the press, if you go to bookshops, you will find these textbooks for grade 9. As a council, we also want to clarify the issue of rationalization of various learning areas. You will recall that in 2022, the government of the Republic of Kenya, through His Excellency the President, appointed a presidential working party on education reforms. This presidential working party was as a result of concerns that had been raised by the public with regard to CBC, and the president asked the party to go out there in all the 47 counties, listening to the views of Kenyans to know whether Kenyans wanted CBC to be retained or whether they wanted it to be completely abolished, or whether they wanted it revised so that it could address the concerns they had. And after completing that exercise, the Presidential Working Party on Education Reforms came with a report that recommended certain changes in CBC. The changes that affected books concerned reduction of certain learning areas in lower primary, upper primary, as well as junior secondary. As such, the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, that is a body that is mandated with all matters relating to curriculum for basic education, addressed the following subjects: social studies, life skills, integrated science, health education, pre-technical studies, business studies, computer studies, agriculture and nutrition, home science, visual arts, performing arts, and physical education and sports. The KICD proceeded to do rationalization. And after the rationalization, the KICD developed and released revised curriculum designs to institutions, to members of the public, as well as to publishers. The Institute further advised publishers to therefore develop and release books as per the rationalized curriculum designs. This gave birth to the following learning areas. Agriculture. Agriculture is a combination of what used to be home science as well as agriculture and nutrition. Social studies, as a result of merging of life skills and social studies. Integrated science, as a result of rationalization of integrated science and health education. Pre-technical studies, as a result of rationalization of computer studies, business studies, and pre-technical studies. Publishers, therefore, proceeded to develop the books, submitted them to the KICD for evaluation, and the approved books in these areas are currently undergoing corrections by the KICD, after which publishers will proceed to print them in time for schools in late January as well as in February. The ones that will be available towards the end of January are for grades 5 and grade 6, and the ones for grades 7 and 8 will be ready towards the end of February 2025. However, in spite of this rationalization, it doesn't mean that there are no books available. KPA can confirm that there are still sufficient and relevant textbooks in circulation in bookshops, in schools, for all the learning areas. These materials, which were produced before the rationalization process, still meet the needs of learners and teachers in grades 5, 6, 7, and 8, as the country transitions to the updated and rationalized curriculum support materials as per the recommendations of the Presidential Working Party on Education Reforms. In addition, we as a Council of the Kenya Publishers Association wish to assure the public that KICD has also approved other books. Apart from the textbooks for CBC, there are also books which we call complementary learning materials. There is a wide variety of these learning materials developed by different publishers, covering learning areas right from PP1 up to grade 9, and these books are available in bookshops. Lastly, KPA wishes to assure Kenyans that books in all other learning areas that support lifelong learning. Here we are talking about storybooks for children, novellas for young adults, full-length creative works, biographies, autobiographies, among others, are also available, wide variety in bookshops, in libraries, in schools, in order to support lifelong learning and also encourage a culture of wide reading. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We welcome any comments that you might have or questions. Asante.
Thank you, Chair. That is from the Chair, KPA. So we'll begin with a question also we can address to the Chairman, and then you can give to us. Yes, Madam.
Well, my name is Elimu from TV. I know you've talked about the reason why some books, because parents were complaining about some books that they got from schools, but they could not find them. The ones that you think that they're being compiled and then it will be ready by February. So the question now is that parents will have to wait before the books are out. And another question is that some private institutions are saying they are not available in all the bookshops. Maybe you can point out whether that is true or not true. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Anybody else with a question, please? Yes, Madam.
My name is in the past, by a lot of and especially now that they don't, most of them do not know about what books are in store, what other books are supposed to come in the first place. What are you doing?
Counterfeiting of books, what are you doing about it? Yes, sir.
Na mtazamaji, hawa ni maafisa wa Baraza la wachapishaji wa vitabu vya elimu humu nchini wakizungumzia utata uliopo kuhusiana na upatikanaji wa vitabu vya mtaala wa CBC, kwa sababu wazazi wengi wamelalamikia kwamba maduka ya kuuza vitabu hayana vitabu vya kuanzia shule za chekechea, gredi ya kwanza na hususan hadi gredi ya 6. Kuna upungufu mkubwa, na hata wauzaji wa vitabu wameweza pia kudhibiti ama kukiri kwamba hakuna vitabu. Maafisa wa uchapishaji wa vitabu wameelezea kwamba ndio kuna uhaba, lakini uhaba huo utakuwa umesuluhishwa kufikia mwisho wa mwezi huu wa Januari, lakini ikizingatiwa kwamba wanafunzi tayari wamerejea shuleni, hali itakuwaje? Ndiposa hapa kwenye studio